What you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you?
It's been a painful Saturday in the city of St. Paul. I'm sad to say that 3 people have lost their lives. We don't have all the facts right now, but I can tell you what we do know. Just after 3 p.m., our officers were sent to a house on the 700 block of Jessie Street to assist St. Paul Fire paramedics on an unknown medical situation. Our officers arrived first and were met by the 911 callers who were frantically telling them that people were injured inside the home.
Yeah. This is Ruth Price at 3877.
What's the problem, ma'am?
Oh, well, there's some guy been checking the place out.
How?
Well, he went in the back. I have an apartment in the back, and he said he was looking for a guy, and he comes to my door. So I live alone, and I'm an old lady.
Mm-hmm. Where is he now, ma'am?
I don't have no idea.
Our officers went inside to find a shocking scene. 3 people had been shot. They called for St. Paul Fire paramedics to immediately come into the home, and paramedics pronounced 2 of the 3 victims dead on scene.
We are living in a culture where the criminal element has absolutely no fear. I spent my career as a police officer trying to protect the citizens of my city from those who would take a life and think nothing about it. As a patrol officer, I patrolled the city trying to prevent crime from happening. As a detective, I researched the no-fear attitude that I was encountering in most criminals that I was dealing with.
The 3rd victim, an 8 to 12-year-old boy, was transported to Regions Hospital, where he unfortunately died from his injuries a few hours after arriving. Our officers secured the scene, began to look for evidence. Our homicide unit was notified. They also responded, and they'll be looking for anything that would tell them who is responsible for this crime. Our forensic services unit, as you can see behind me, is also here, looking for any physical evidence that will tell them the story of who is responsible for these deaths.
If you were lucky enough to survive your attack, and we were lucky enough to be in the vicinity, then we might catch the offender.
We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify our victims and determine their exact cause of death. Unfortunately, these types of calls are hard. This one in particular is hard for a couple reasons. It's hard because children died. It's also hard because one of our officers was here an hour before this call. He was called here by a concerned family member from out of state who wanted us to check on the welfare of the supposed victim in this home. Our officer did come here. He did speak with her at the door and explained why he was there. And she looked at him and said, "I'm okay. Tell them I'm okay." The officer asked if she wanted to call the family in Tennessee with his phone. She declined, and that was the end of the interaction between the 2.
All those police chiefs and mayors and so on who say, you don't need a gun, just rely on us. Well, that's what they say for public consumption. But when somebody is raped because they called 911 and nobody responded, or robbed or murdered, and the family sues the the police come forward with the statutes that exist in every state, which say the police are not responsible for protecting people.
Hopefully our investigation will answer some of the questions we have about this call and what occurred here today. Keeping in mind that we're still early on this investigation, I'll take some questions. I'll try to answer them the best as I can.
A man and a woman and a child? Is that what it is, Mike?
So we have I'll go through the victims for you. The adult female is in her 30s. The second victim is a female in her early teens. And the third is the young boy, 8 to 12 years old. We'll be working with the Ramsey County Medical Examiner to positively identify them and most likely release their names in the next couple days.
Are they all related?
We'll be working through that to determine what their relationship is.
The she that you referenced that your officer spoke with earlier in the day, is she one of the ones who passed away?
We believe so. Yes, we believe that our officer spoke to the woman in her 30s.
How many people were inside when this happened, when this took place?
Our officers found 3 victims in there. I do not know if anybody else was present at the time. We are interviewing people. I just don't know where they were at the time of the incident.
Was there a gun found on scene?
Unknown. They're still searching the address for evidence. They go through a protocol of search warrant, and that does take some time, so those answers will come later.
Have you all been to this house prior, before today?
We have been here once before on a similar call, a welfare check.
Like a domestic welfare check, or are you able to say any more details?
No, they're just concerned about her welfare, that she could be in danger, that type of call. It possibly involved a domestic type situation. I just don't have all the facts to confirm it exactly.
Can you say if the person who fired these shots was one of the 2 adults found inside the house?
Unknown. I don't have that type of information at this point.
So you can't rule out that it's somebody who came to the house,
Yeah,
somebody else, and not
correct.
somebody?
Right now we're entertaining all possibilities, whether and those include domestic versus stranger versus anything. But right now it could possibly be a more domestic related.
You officer, my camera here catch one. I'm not sure the victim or the suspect, but
that sheer look of terror when you have a witness exposing all the information on your press interview.
Okay, I'll have the investigators come speak with you. Okay, or you can talk to my partner here.
and I think one of the guy already come in. Well, with the police come and get my video already.
Okay,
everything.
thank you.
So
thank you.
might be
I didn't
something
know
that I
that. Thank
can
you.
Look for that.
And you said the second woman was a teenager, though?
Early teens.
So really two young people and an adult.
Yes, like I said, these are horrific calls for officers to respond to. Obviously, the families are in a lot of pain, and the officers are human too. When they respond and see this kind of tragedy, it affects them also.
And was it is it like an apartment over there? Or
it's a multi-unit. It's a home that's broken up into multiple units. Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
A simple one-day concealed handgun course enables you to obtain your concealed carry permit, and I would strongly advise you to take this first step in protecting yourself and your family.
Bad boys, what you want?